The mood was sombre as the bus carrying the surviving students and accompanying teachers arrived back at Elim Christian College this afternoon. The students were taken into a closed assembly similar to that held this morning and were then left to grieve and speak to counsellors. The 6 16-year-old students who died in the tragedy were Anthony Mulder, Tom Shue, Portia McPhail, Floyd Fernandez, Natasha Bray and Tara Gregory. Their 29-year-old teacher, Tony McLean, who was the school's sports coordinator, also lost his life. During the day, students of the school created a wall of remembrance, which Principal Murray Burton says has been an important part of the grief process.
We're using this sort of mechanism for kids to express themselves. There's a sombre mood, there's a lot of support for each other, and a very close working relationship with the teachers and the counsellors, so it's been a good process.
Andy Bray lost his daughter Natasha in the tragedy and spoke on behalf of the families of the students.
And these were kids of extraordinary character who set themselves aside to want to be involved in building up others who were struggling, and so this is a real tragedy for New Zealand.
Mr. Bray says he asked his daughter if she was concerned about the rain before she left.
She said, "Oh, my good friend Portia, who was in the group and died also, said, we've got this little saying that says, we're going to jump in puddles, Dad." And she said, what I mean by that is, even if it's bad, we're going to make the most of it. And kind of that's what my daughter and Portia were like, that we're going to jump in puddles. And I guess that's what all the parents are trying to do now. We're going to try and jump in puddles.
Mr. Bray says the tragedy has certainly tested his faith.
This is another chink in the armour and tests my belief. Of course it does. Doubt is a part of faith. Without doubt, you don't have faith. And so, sure, we're saying to God, why has this happened? You know, where does this fit in to your plan? And I don't have an answer for that, I'm sorry. But I'm thankful that, for me, my belief is that Natasha is in a much better place. And we're going to have to come to terms with not having her. And that's what we're dealing with.
Manakomi Elaine Brown visited the school this morning, which he says is a tight-knit community.
These are families that have grown up together and kids have grown up together, and they're sharing that support for each other right now.
Mr. Brown had met some of the students who died on a visit to the school a few months earlier.
The young people that I knew in Year 12, Year 13 that I got to meet, that I discussed issues in our city with and talked with, our leaders of the future, and it's just a huge loss, not to their families but to us all.
Education Minister Chris Carter also visited the school today and has nothing but praise for the way Elim Christian College has managed the situation.
This is the worst possible thing that could ever happen to a family or to a school, and the principal, Murray Burton, has been incredibly strong and is carrying through support for the parents and the pupils. I'm just full of admiration for him.
Mr. Carter says the ministry will give the school all the support it needs to get through this tragedy. Todd Symons, Nzone Tonight.